A new Texas-based national stock exchange has moved one step closer to becoming a reality. The Texas Tribune reports that the Securities and Exchange Commission has approved the Dallas-based Texas Stock Exchange, that's TXSE, or TXSE, as some are calling it, which aims to compete with the New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq. But can it? Here with more details is John Diamond, who's the Senior Director of the Center for Tax and Budget Policy at the Baker Institute for Public Policy at Rice University. John, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you. So why was this created? Why do those behind this stock exchange want to compete with those other more well-known entities?
Well, I think the word is compete.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of Texas firms, they're a long ways from New York, so they don't have the relationships with the financial groups, the networks. And so with more and more companies headquartering in Texas, it made sense that, well, look, we should have more of a local finance system. And I think that drove people. Also, there was some unhappiness with the level of fees and regulatory burdens of the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq. And so they thought, let's just create our own.
Do it our own way, right. How would the TXSE be different than those, or would it?
I think the idea is that it's going to have lower regulatory burdens. It will have less fees. And then also it's just in Texas. And network effects, circular relationships are very important. It's expensive for smaller and mid-sized firms to do all the stuff they need to do to incorporate in New York. That requires a lot of travel, a lot of relationship building. If there was an exchange here in Texas, which now there will be, all of those costs become easier, or those costs are reduced, and it's easier for smaller, mid-sized firms to get access to capital within networks that they're more connected to.
Any idea if this would be like what we know of as, the stock exchange in New York with people on a trading floor, or is it just going to be digital only, electronic only?
I think obviously the one of the benefits of starting new is you can make it whatever you want. And so you're not tied to any type of legacy. So I do think it'll start out largely digital, but I think eventually they will also have some type of trading floor. I think there will be some of that at some point. It's a long process. It's not like it opens, December of next year and it's fully going. It's going to take several years. Maybe it's 5 to 10 years to really build up, the amount of companies and listings and all of that for it to grow and be very successful. And there are risks in that process.
State lawmakers praised this news, including Governor Greg Abbott, who said Texas is swiftly becoming America's financial hub. What would having a stock exchange based in Texas do for the Texas economy, the state as a whole, or is it just a benefit to those companies that are doing business here?
No, it's a giant benefit to Texas. You can't really overstate it. When you think of all the things that go into listing a firm and then managing a firm that's being listed on an exchange, most of those jobs right now are located in New York City. And so if this is successful, it will make it a lot easier for small and medium-sized businesses in Texas to access financial capital, which means those businesses will grow. That'll be great for Texas. But then all of the support work that goes in to listing firms and managing firms that are listed and raising all of the capital and giving it to the firms, all of those jobs will now be in Texas. So I don't think you can really overstate the benefit to Texas. This is a great thing for Texas.
Could be, it stands to reason then it could make it easier, more attractive for companies to want to come here and set up business.
Absolutely. And as we've seen, companies have been locating in Texas due to the friendly business climate and low taxes over the last decade in large numbers. This will only increase the attractiveness of Texas.
As far as that competition angle goes, aimed at competing with the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq. I mean, is it more or less likely to succeed at taking on those entities, and is it poised to better situated to do so than maybe other attempts in the past?
We're definitely poised to compete. I mean, the number of firms in Texas, Houston being the energy capital, Dallas, having more headquarters than almost anywhere in the world, we definitely have the ingredients to compete and compete well. And in fact, I think one of the benefits will be that we'll see fees and regulations at the New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq come down. And we've already seen this. The New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq have increased the size of their offices in Dallas because I think they see a real threat from this. And so there's like, well, we need to have bigger regional presence in Texas.
Thought it was interesting. The Texas Tribune article noted this wouldn't even be the only exchange in Dallas when it opens, that the New York Stock Exchange has reincorporated its Chicago Electronic Exchange and moving that to Dallas, calling it NYSE Texas. Also that NASDAQ is opening a regional headquarters in Dallas. You may recall I mentioned at the beginning of the show, our name of our program is Houston Matters, show all about Houston, the state's biggest city. So help us understand why something like this might not be located in Houston. Why Dallas?
Well, Dallas is more of the financial capital of Texas. When you look at banking and finance, most of those companies have located in Dallas or just north of Dallas. And Houston is the energy capital of Texas. And so we just have a different composition of firms. We're also a big medical center. But the fact that this would be in Dallas and not Houston, yes, Dallas would get a bigger benefit. But I don't think we should understate the benefit that would occur for Houston. This would allow a lot of Houston companies to have a lot more access to capital, and I think we'd see a lot of business growth in the Houston area. And then the just the financial networks and all the relationships that occur. Boston's done really well, being a few hours from New York, so I think it'd be similar for Houston.
Any idea when this new exchange is going to open and start trading?
I have not seen the date for when they're going to start trading. I know that it's going to be a while, and I think even when they start, it will be a relatively thin market. It will take time to build up, the size of the market and to have the depth and liquidity in the market. But the positive benefits are already being seen, even before trading. As you mentioned, Nasdaq and the New York Stock Exchange have already increased their presence in the Dallas area. I think every day we get closer to trading, the benefits will be accruing more and more to all of Texas.
John Diamond is the Senior Director of the Center for Tax and Budget Policy at the Baker Institute for Public Policy at Rice University. John, thanks so much.
Thank you.